Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that, and also if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well, if there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2023 related video here on my channel, and today I am talking about all of the first rehearsals for the semi-final 2 participants of the upcoming edition of the Eurovision Song Contest, which, as I'm recording this video you're watching now, is a week away from starting in Liverpool at the Liverpool Arena in the UK on behalf of current champions Ukraine. As always, you're very welcome to let me know what you think about any of the rehearsals or anything I'm discussing in today's video by leaving a comment. That's always appreciated. And as always too, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. A big thank you to everybody who left a comment on my video yesterday in which I went through the first rehearsals for the semi-final 1 participants. What I will say is that my opinions on both semi-finals hasn't really changed much. Semi-final 1 is definitely the stronger of the two in my opinion, and I definitely got something close to winner vibes with 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of the rehearsals from semi-final 1. With semi-final 2, not so much. But interestingly, even though I think semi-final 2 is the weaker show, it might be the harder one to predict the results for. Anyway, let's get cracking with Denmark, who took to the stage yesterday. This is Riley with Breaking My Heart, and one of the big things about Denmark this Eurovision season has been about his vocals. Are they actually any good? Is he a decent singer? Well, I had my doubts at DMGP. I didn't think he sounded that amazing then, but I'm not a professional musician. He now sounds perfectly fine, to be honest with you. I don't really have any qualms about his singing at all. The staging is different, and I said in my video yesterday that a lot of performances seemed to be a copy-paste scenario from the national final. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody commented on my last video saying that it was a little bit harsh to say that, and that they disagreed with me because a lot of the performances were looking very different. Well, maybe copy-paste is not the right term to use, but certainly for me, if you're going to do something similar again, but this time on the Eurovision stage, there needs to be some sort of notable difference. You need to elevate what you already had. So for me, I really do think some of the performances looked pretty much identical to how they were at the national finals. That's not a bad thing. I'm just hoping that, once I've seen the whole thing, there's a little bit more to it, and chances are there usually is. Anyway, going off on a tangent, Denmark. This is different from the national final. The staging's a bit different. He has this rotating structure sort of made up of various walls, and he just sort of moves between them all. It's a little bit similar to Malta 2019 and Armenia last year in that respect. He's not wearing the massive pink puffer jacket. He's now in a more skin-coloured, almost see-through type top and white trousers, I think it is. He's lying flat on the stage at one point. The LED screens in one of the photos that I saw, sort of looking like a scene from the music video with this sort of lime green backdrop, whatever it was. Anyway, not bad, not blowing me away. I think that this is a little bit better, a little bit tighter compared to how it was at DMGP, which is good. Has it boosted his chances of qualifying? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not convinced by what I've seen or heard so far, but we've only seen very short snippets and a couple of photographs. Then we have Armenia. Not one of my big favourites of the year. I absolutely don't get winner vibes. But this was one of the best rehearsals regarding the semi-final 2 participants. Brunette with future lover. She's in this white outfit. She's a great singer, looking like a great performer. And she has this slightly slanted platform on stage. And she's lying on top of it, and there are lots of swirling patterns around her in blue and purple, and then towards the end we have more of a light show, that sort of thing. On the whole though, this looked and sounded pretty impressive, and it doesn't matter that she's on second in the running order because this is very likely to go through. And then in the final she'll have the juries dishing out quite a lot of points her way as well, I'm sure. Then we have Romania. That's the next one on my screen anyway. And I was very intrigued about this one because the national final performance was really sloppy, so it needed to improve immensely for Eurovision. And now that he's been on stage once, has it really improved that much? I've got to be honest, I'm not sure it has. He's young, he's a good singer. It's just a shame the song isn't up to scratch. That's what's letting this down, the song. He's in a luminous yellow outfit, yellow jacket, yellow shorts, yellow Pikachu socks. On the backdrop, we have this sort of watery blue effect. The song has changed. It starts off in a more acoustic fashion, and then we go into the more rock vibe that we're very familiar with. But it does start off in a more subtle way, and then becomes a bit more explosive. There's an image, I believe it is of his girlfriend on the backdrop. It looks really weird. I really don't know why they've done that. And then there's this also, I'm starting to ramble, there's this lava-like effect on the backdrop as well. He's doing the best job he can, and like I said, he's got a good voice, but I just don't think it's nearly enough. This was better than the national final, but I'm still not really enthralled by it. It is what it is. Let's now talk about Belgium. This is the dark horse of the year. It's Gustav with Because of You. He's got the sort of Boy George white hat on, white outfit, sort of pinkish baggy trousers. He's got backing singers with him in black outfits. The backdrop, similar to the music video, with, you know, images of people dancing, this sort of monochrome look, and then towards the end it goes pinkish in shades. Yeah, on the whole this was pretty good. He's a nice singer, nice guy. It's a bit of a bop. I'm leaning towards this going through somewhat comfortably, but in my ranking that I've got on my whiteboard in front of me, it didn't really stand out enough in the grand scheme of things. So, I don't know. Once I've seen rehearsal number 2, maybe he'll shoot up my ranking. I don't know. Really starting to ramble. Bear with me. We move on to Cyprus. This is Andrew Lambrou with Break a Broken Heart. This is a very elemental type performance because we go from this sort of very watery effect on the LED screens to fire. So it goes from the cold to the heat. Andrew is in a black outfit, very casual. His vocals are good. He's hitting those big notes, which is a relief. But a good voice alone doesn't get you a place in the final. Really, there is no staging to speak of. There doesn't seem to be anything else happening around him. So he is completely alone, at least it appears so. Visually pretty strong, but I just don't think it's enough. The song is fine. It's a safe track. But I'm not sure this has really boosted his chances of going through. Moving on to Estonia. This was the first rehearsal of today. This is Alika with Bridges. I just think that this is a great song, and I think it's a beautiful performance. She's in a blue outfit, a light blue outfit, a sort of flowy bottom half. Lots of spotlights around her. It's very intimate, very pretty. The piano's on stage with her. Does it play itself like at Ace Laul? I'm not sure. I have a feeling it does. Towards the end, some of the LED screens are reversed, but we've got streaks of gold flashing out either side of her. This just looks really nice and sounds very good. She's obviously a very good singer and a competent performer, but in a 100% public vote semi-final, I have to say I'm a little bit concerned this might be brushed to one side, but it's still, in my opinion, too good to miss out. We then move on to Iceland, and all I can say is, what a job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just saying this because I really like the Icelandic track. I do really like the Icelandic track, but this was the standout rehearsal of today for me. Absolutely bringing it, ladies and gentlemen. That's that moment in the TikTok clip right at the start where she's singing backstage, doing the sound check. She just sounded incredible. And more and more people, I hope, get on board with this very quickly because she is easily one of the best singers this year. This is Dilyal with Power. She's on stage in this sort of silver outfit. It's a little bit similar to the Song for Kepnin performance, but it's been elevated. So we have this sort of leaf-like imagery around her, and flowers, obviously they're referenced in the song. She's moving about with so much confidence, having a great time, does a cartwheel at one point, which I can see in the photo in front of me. Just absolutely smashing it, ladies and gentlemen. Sounding great, looking pretty decent. I'm very excited to see the whole thing because it could be really excellent. I was very, very impressed. Iceland is still seen as a borderline qualifier for a lot of people, and indeed with the bookmakers, but surely this is going to rise in the odds a little bit after today, because it really was very impressive in my opinion. Then we have Greece, 16-year-old Victor Vernikos with What They Say. Didn't really know what to expect here, and in the end we didn't really get a whole lot. He's wearing a rather drab beige coloured outfit. His face is on the backdrop. I've never really been a fan of that sort of thing, but it's happening with Greece. We've also got sort of bars on the backdrop as well. You'll know what I mean if you've seen the clip. And also Greek lettering. I'm not entirely sure what it spells out. Maybe his name. Doesn't really matter. It looks okay. He's sitting on the stage floor at 1.2. But it's very bare, and I have to say it's looking really forgettable. So it's hard to say whether this is qualifying or not. Possibly. But it wouldn't stand out in the final at all, in my personal opinion. Vocally, not bad at all, though. Let's move on to Poland. Well, in terms of TikTok views, Norway has smashed it. But Poland also smashing it. Well ahead of many of the other countries this year, and it only happened a few hours ago. This is Blanka with Solo. There's a dance break. Just for the hell of it. I mean, I'm not saying that this was inspired by Chanel for Spain last year, but it does seem to be a thing now at Eurovision. Stick in a dance break. I'm not really sure why this has been added. Maybe to try and make the song stand out a little bit more. Does it work? I don't know. I haven't seen the whole thing. None of us have. They've gone for a tropical look here. So you've got palm trees, you've got hazy shades of pink and orange, yellow as well. She's in a dress. What colour is the dress? I'm going to have to click on the picture here. Is it green and pink or something? She's got dancers with her as well. Well, it's orange here. Oh no, she must have a costume change. Does she have a costume change? Oh, I think she might do. It's a pink and orange dress. You've got birds on the backdrop as well that look like they're straight out of some sort of cartoon. Vocally better than the national final. There's no doubt about that. But am I really that impressed? Not really. There's pyro. It looks pretty nice. And even though she's come under fire a lot ever since she won the Polish selection, let me tell you this. There's a lot of people who really love her and love this song. So we cannot rule out its chances of qualifying at all. I think I'd be a fool to write this off. We move on to Slovenia. Joker out with Carpe Diem. This was a little bit underwhelming. Still good, but a little bit underwhelming. The reason I say that is because it looks like a very dark performance, which is interesting because it's an up-tempo song, so I was expecting fire, pyro, loads of different colours. Instead, we haven't really got a whole lot of that. The outfits are also, dare I say it, a little dull. Not that the outfits matter much. Quite 1980s, lead singers in purple trousers. You've got another musician in a sort of bluish shirt. It's very casual, but also smart. The energy is there. They're having a blast on stage. It's obviously a very catchy song. You've got Joker Out on the backdrop and Carpe Diem at certain points in this song. Yeah, they look very comfortable on stage. That's impressive. But on my ranking in front of me, it's not in the top 5 of the day for me, or top 5 of semi-final 2 as a whole, because it didn't quite hit the mark for me. It's sort of bubbling under the surface. With the second rehearsal, that's when things might be turned up to 11, if you see what I mean. Then we have Georgia. I'm not a fan of this song, really, but like with most songs, every year around this time, when rehearsals start happening, it starts to grow on me. And this song is starting to grow on me, even if the lyrics are pretty nonsensical. The LED screens here, they come out so far, they sort of box her in a little bit. You've got this sort of smoky effect happening behind her, a tornado at one point. Very, very atmospheric. She's got this silver jewellery going up her arm. She's in a white dress. These photos, by the way, some of the best out of any rehearsal so far. I'm looking at them now. Splendid photography for this Georgian rehearsal. Shout out to Sarah Louise Bennett who took the photos. Yeah, really, really nice. It's amazing to think last year we had Circus Mercus. This year we've got Iru with Echo. This is a more serious Georgia. This is a more competitive Georgia. This is a Georgia that looks as though they actually want to do well. No offence to Circus Mercus last year, but that never really stood much of a chance. This is looking like it could do very well. I don't think it's winning material at all, but it was one of the best rehearsals of the day. Then we have San Marino. Well, this was a nice surprise. Peaked Jacks with Like an Animal. I'm liking what they're doing on the backdrop here. Reminds me a bit of Tron and Blade Runner, movies like that. We've got a slight neon thing happening. Towards the end, we've got this explosion of colour. But earlier on, we've got eyes either side of the band, who are in black outfits, by the way. And we've also got a big mouth on the backdrop, I think during the first chorus. Don't quote me on that. But this has changed quite a bit from the national final, which was necessary, because the San Marino national final, you know, it wasn't that groundbreaking, was it? On a much bigger stage, they're really letting loose. And this looks great. I think we have a bit of pyro as well. Lovely stuff. It seems as though there is a theme this year as well of musicians lying on the stage floor. But there we are. Really, very, very nice. One of the best rehearsals of the day. Then we have Austria. Well, I think a lot of people were very excited about this one. It's Taya and Salina with Who the Hell is Edgar? Vocally, they were very good at the pre-parties, and this sounded very nice today as well. One of them is in an all-black outfit with a red top, I think it is. And the other one, yes, indeed. And the other one is in a white outfit with a red top. There are dancers on stage in red leotards and black trousers with black belts. That's an interesting look. And on the backdrop, we see many of those dancers. And the dance moves on the backdrop as well, with these sort of futuristic glasses. It's all very simple, but I think it's executed quite well. We also see Edgar Allan Poe's face at one point, and they're just having a good time. Maybe this could have benefited from a prop or something else happening on stage. Obviously, we haven't seen the whole thing. But this was solid. It really was. It sounds good. And this could have been an absolute car crash, but it is not looking that way whatsoever, which is a relief. We then have Albania. This was good as well. Albania going back to basics with the red colour scheme predominantly here. Black outfits once again, waving red handkerchiefs at one point. Towards the end, it goes a bit more golden, and there's this sort of space-like explosion on the backdrop behind them. It's very dramatic. There's fire all around the stage. Vocally pretty strong. I mean, it packs a punch, which is excellent. And this has been elevated tenfold from the national final as well, because Fick, with all due respect, is so old-fashioned. At Eurovision, it just enters the 21st century. And I think Albania, yeah, I'm impressed. I think they've done themselves... what am I trying to say here? I think they've given themselves a good shot, a better shot of qualifying based on what I've seen today. We then have Lithuania. This is not too bad at all. Monica is in a relatively short orange dress, a bit similar to the national final. She's got dancers, or rather backing singers really, on stage with her. We've got those interesting symbols, almost like runic symbols, behind her. Looks really pretty, I have to say. We've got pulses of orange light as well, fairly similar to the national final performance. She's having a good time on stage, vocally pretty strong. Yes, some of these photos make it look really, really nice. I think Lithuania are qualifying anyway, as she's done herself no harm with that first rehearsal. So there we go. Then we have Australia. There's a car on stage, for reasons that are beyond me. I mean, this is sort of old school 1980s, ramping up the camp a little bit here. It's my winner of semi-final 2. The lead singer is sitting in the car at the start, I think. They're all in black outfits that are a little bit sparkly. There's pyro. You've got a sort of... It looks like just a massive red dot coming up over the mountains on the LED screens. What else is there to say about this? Plenty of energy, moving about the stage a lot, and vocally not too bad either. One of the best rehearsals of the day. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. A bit of a messy video from me once again, but I have now covered all of the first rehearsals for the second semi-final participants. For me, Iceland was the best. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I thought it was excellent. Austria, very good. Armenia, solid. Australia, good. Estonia, nice. And San Marino, I have to say, San Marino looking very good indeed. I was disappointed with Romania, but I didn't expect much anyway. I was quite disappointed with Greece, I've got to be honest. I don't really remember it. It doesn't stand out enough. Poland and Cyprus as well, near the bottom for me here. Poland is better, but it's still not quite at the level I think it needs to be competitive. And Cyprus, the staging is just a bit too bare. Minor criticisms. Of course, the second rehearsals get going very soon. We've also got the first rehearsals for the automatic finalists, and I'll be back in a video very soon to talk about all of that. Keep an eye on the Instagram page rajc.esc that I co-run with my friend. We're going to be getting posts up quite frequently over the next 2 weeks or so, and also I'll be talking a little bit more about the day in which me and my friend Peter go to Liverpool, which is for the grand final in the Eurovision Village, because there's a few more details that have happened since I last discussed it, and I just want to talk about it in the near future. Until then, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and let me know what you think about the semi-final 2 first rehearsals. Bye for now.